What is quantitative finance? I hear you ask. Give me just the next 10 minutes and I promise that I'll explain it like you're 5 years old. Imagine you have a big piggy bank. It's filled with coins, and your goal is simple. You want to make those coins grow into even more coins. Maybe you're saving up for the world's biggest Lego set or a lifetime supply of ice cream. But figuring out the best way to grow your money can be really tricky. The world of money is big, confusing, and moves super fast. This is where quant finance comes in. Think of quant finance as getting a team of super smart robot helpers for your piggy bank. These aren't clunky metal robots. They're powerful computer programs. Their only job is to make the smartest possible choices with your money. They are the math wizards and coding geniuses of the financial world, and they use a special set of tools to do their work. The first tool in their toolbox is math. But it's not the boring kind of math that makes you fall asleep. It's math used for finding patterns. Imagine you notice that every time it's a sunny day, the ice cream truck on your street sells way more ice cream. That's a pattern. Quants use math to find similar patterns in how money moves. They look at millions of tiny pieces of information to guess what might happen next. Math is the secret language they use to talk about money and risk. Of course, finding these patterns in all the world's information would take a human forever. It would be like trying to count every grain of sand on a beach by yourself. That's why the robots need their second tool, computers. These are super fast brains that can do billions of calculations in the blink of an eye. They let the robot helpers process huge amounts of information almost instantly, spotting patterns that no human ever could. But how does the computer know what to do? It can't just think for itself. It needs a recipe. That's the third tool, algorithms. An algorithm is just a step-by-step set of instructions. It's like a recipe for making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Step 1. Get 2 slices of bread. Step 2. Spread peanut butter on one slice. Step 3. Spread jelly on the other. Step 4. Put them together. Quant robots follow these recipes, or algorithms, to make decisions about money. But their recipes are a lot more complicated, like if the price of this thing goes up by 1% while the price of that thing goes down, then buy 10 of them, but only if it's Tuesday. And for any good recipe, you need ingredients. The robot's main ingredient is data. Data is just a fancy word for information. The robots collect mountains of it. They look at the price of a stock today, yesterday, and 10 years ago. They track how many times it was bought or sold. This information is the food that makes the robot helper smart. The more data it has, the better its patterns and predictions will be. Finally, the robot has to understand risk. Risk is just the chance that things won't go the way you planned. Imagine you decide to open a lemonade stand because the forecast says it will be a hot, sunny day. You buy lemons, sugar, and cups. But what if a surprise thunderstorm rolls in? That's risk. Your plan might not work out. Quant robots are designed to think about all the what-ifs. They constantly calculate the chances of a financial thunderstorm so they can protect the money and maybe have a little umbrella ready just in case. So who build these robots and what do you call them? Well, they are called the quants. A quant is short for a quantitative analyst or a quantitative trader, which is a finance professional who uses math and computer code to study the markets. So, what do the quants actually have the robots do all day? Well, they give them a few very important jobs. One of their main jobs is to be a treasure hunter. The robots use their math and data to scan the entire world of finance, looking for hidden opportunities, good deals that no one else has noticed yet. They're searching for undervalued treasure. Another job is to be a guard dog. Quants build systems that constantly watch over the money, sniffing for any sign of danger. If a potential problem is detected, the system can raise an alarm or even take action automatically to protect the piggy bank from a bad surprise. And some of these robots have incredibly fast-paced jobs. Imagine a toy that costs a tiny bit less in one store than it does in another store across town. If you were fast enough, you could buy it at the cheap store and sell it at the other for a small profit. Now, imagine doing that thousands of times per second. That's a strategy called high-frequency trading. It's like a super speedy shopper. The robot uses its lightning-fast computer brain to spot these tiny price differences and make a trade in a fraction of a millisecond, way faster than a human can blink. Those tiny profits add up. Other robots are like price detectives. They might notice that two similar companies, say Coke and Pepsi, usually have prices that move up and down together. If one day Pepsi's price suddenly shoots way up while Coke stays the same, the robot might bet that things will return to normal. It might sell Pepsi and buy Coke, expecting their paths to meet again. This is called statistical arbitrage, a fancy term for betting on relationships to return to normal. Side note, if this is making finance feel less like a foreign language and more like something that actually makes sense, hit the like button. And subscribe if you're not already. This is exactly the kind of thing we break down here every week. Okay, let's get back to the video. Because the robots are about to get a serious upgrade. And just like our world, the world of quant finance is always changing. The robot helpers are constantly getting upgrades and new superpowers. The biggest new superpower is artificial intelligence, or AI. Before AI, the robots could only follow the recipes they were given. But with AI and a technique called machine learning, the robots can now learn on their own. They learn from their mistakes and successes. They don't just follow recipes, they start inventing their own. And they can use all new kinds of data. An AI-powered quant robot might analyze satellite images to count the number of cars in a store's parking lot, trying to guess how well the store is doing. Or it might read millions of social media posts to understand how people are feeling about a new product. It's like being able to find Waldo, not just in a book, but in the entire world all at once. And looking even further into the future, quants are getting excited about quantum computers. These are a whole new kind of super-duper brain, so powerful they make today's computers look like pocket calculators. While they're still in the early stages, in a few years they could solve problems that are currently impossible, making our robot helpers even more powerful than we can imagine. But this brings up some big questions. Relying on these incredibly smart, incredibly fast robots also comes with risks. What happens when the robot's recipe becomes so complicated that even the humans who built it don't fully understand how it makes decisions? It becomes a black box. If it makes a mistake and loses a lot of money, it can be nearly impossible to figure out why. Who's to blame? And what happens if all the robots, built by different teams, learn from similar data and start thinking the same way? They might all try to sell the same thing at the exact same time. This can create a digital stampede, causing the market to wobble or even crash in seconds. It's like if everyone in a crowded room tried to run for the same exit at once. There's also the risk of bias. A robot only knows what it's been taught from the data it's been fed. If the historical data has unfair patterns in it, the robot might learn those bad habits, making unfair decisions about things like who gets a loan. So where does that leave us? Quant finance has given us these amazing tools, these robot helpers that can see and think in ways no human ever could. They can find opportunities, manage risk, and make our financial world more efficient. But they are still just tools. They're great with numbers, but they don't have wisdom, context, or a sense of ethics. They can't understand human fear or excitement, the very things that often drive the market. The challenge for the future isn't just about building smarter robots. It's about people learning how to work with them wisely. It's about balancing the cold, hard logic of the machine with the insight and judgment that only a human can provide. The robots can help us grow our piggy bank, but we have to be the ones who decide what to do with the treasure. I'm Billy, and I probably spend too much time thinking about the fact that the most powerful money-making machines ever built, ones that can read satellite images and scan millions of social posts in seconds, still can't do the one thing that actually matters most. They can find the pattern. But they can't decide what the pattern means for a real human life. If it just landed that the most important financial edge you can have isn't a smarter algorithm, it's knowing how to think clearly when the algorithm gets it wrong. Subscribe. Because that's exactly what we get into here every week. The next video on your screen takes one of these ideas and goes much deeper. Because once you understand how the robots make decisions, the next question most people never think to ask is who's actually winning against them. That video answers it. It's right there. Go watch it next, and I'll see you there.